Very interesting and also scientific research, including videos, exist on whether we humans are kind of antennas for consciousness, or if we humans only present a local consciousness, as for instance in our brain. This research is relevant for a number of reasons. A. Scientific reasons. Because our scientists cannot detect the location of our consciousness in our brain or body, and if any, indications tell us our consciousness is not located in our brains or bodies. B. In the case we are antennas for external consciousness, our antenna is not functioning well, because our consciousness should urge us to take care of our environment, and we don't. Most probably the young think of themselves amongst the most conscious of our or the human challenges, yet amongst other failures they do not seem to bother to have access or to develop an action plan. Most probably the scientists think of themselves as amongst the most conscious and the most prepared to solve our challenges, yet amongst other failures. A. They do not seem to bother to have access or to develop an action plan. B. They do not seem to realize that our ancestors must have solved their challenges and or had a plan to solve our challenges, and don't bother to find out if our ancestors have solved or had a plan to solve. In fact, our scientists do not even bother to try to solve the actual paradigms and not even to properly check the ancestral markers they themselves discovered, and do use and insist themselves and others to use when this is convenient for them. Our Amazon Amerind ancestors conscient. And we modern humans non-conscient. Based on what we know about our Amazon Amerind ancestors, about the Amazon forest, but also about later migrations, we try to check the above question regarding consciousness, this in the context of our subject and objective, which amongst others, is an essential plan for existence, this with our plan based on the extremely efficient and regulating carbon agroforests, that are similar to, but more effective, productive and more solving, for us 8 billion modern humans, than our only existing, or than our most convincing real-world example of carbon agroforest, which is the Amazon forest. We try to check, because we have the impression that modern humans are not at all sufficiently or profoundly interested in solving all our challenges, and that most of us focus only on one or very few challenges at a time, which clearly is insufficient. Regarding the few challenges we modern humans superficially focus on, we never seem to see any responsibility from our part, and always seem to assume we cannot play a role in solving these challenges. This is weird, because it is obvious that we do have responsibility, and in fact have the key role in all challenges and therefore have this key role again in solving these challenges. After all, we are with 8 billion. Such irresponsible and superficial behaviour can only be explained by a lack of consciousness or by deliberate negation. We will make certain efforts to check the hypothesis that we humans are, or our human ancestors were, or that our ancestors at least considered themselves, such antennas to receive consciousness. We possibly go one step further than most research, and also make efforts to check that in the case we humans indeed are antennas, if our bodies or these antennas, that are part of or enclose our bodies, are quantum-like projections of the universe, or what some will call God or gods. Despite these efforts, we want to illustrate that we are perfectly aware that our physical bodies, material world, sun, moon and planets are totally real from the standpoint of the physical world, including ourselves, and obviously obey all physical laws, like gravity and the many others that already are proven. The Amazon Amerinds do act and think in the physical world outside their own bodies and materials, this while we modern humans are distancing away from the physical world outside our own bodies and materials, especially away from forests including agroforests, wild animals and plants, including from the planets, especially away from all their non-material aspects. Although their non-material aspects could and probably do play an important or the main role in our collective and personal consciousness, simply because science cannot locate it in our own brains or bodies, and this consciousness must be somewhere or come from somewhere. The Amazon Amerinds depended and still depend a lot on their physical bodies, cognitive functioning and immune systems, and consequently their excellent health and relative absence of degenerative diseases. If these are not maintained, the chances for that Amazon Amerind or Amazon people to die are much greater than the chances of modern humans to die when they do not maintain or sustain these same above physical factors. Further, and in other videos, we will argue that our connection with our collective and or personal consciousness is of extreme importance to maintain or sustain these same above essential physical factors, like our and the Amazon Amerinds' physical bodies, cognitive functioning and immune systems, and consequently our and the Amazon Amerinds' excellent health and relative absence of degenerative diseases.